All right, so welcome everyone. This summer school webinar is titled Exploring the Use of HTML Templates. And the whole purpose behind this is if you're using a course or if you're trying to create a course from scratch, whether it be for a course that the ministry doesn't have content for or the board hasn't provided you content for, this should allow you to create content in a way that is easier and you don't really have to know all the tech behind the way of making HTML pages look. You don't have to know how to make things look nice at all. You don't have to worry about the coding aspect of it. D2L has designed some great templates that you can use in order to make your content life creating much easier. Okay, so that's where we're going to start. I'm going to be doing a lot of demo today. And some of you, depending on which school board you're from, you may have an easier time at this than others, just depending on what your district e-learning contact or TELC contact has enabled inside of your board. So if some of it looks like, oh, that doesn't look exactly like my board, I'm going to try and cover all of that. And I understand that might be a little boring for some of you, but it's good to have that background knowledge just in case you ever need it. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording my video and I'm going to start on this title slide. Can you guys just make kind of confirm with me that you can see what I'm sharing here? You should see my title slide that says exploring the use of HTML content or HTML templates. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So let's move on here. And first of all, my name is David Gomes. I'm our TELC contact and our district e-learning contact for the Greater Essex County District School Board. I've been in that position since 2016. And I've also been an e-learning course writer for Technology Enabled Learning Ontario. So again, I work in the Greater Essex County District School Board. I think it's about my 10th year in this, in the board. Last year, we ran some sessions that we called D2L with Dave. And actually, I think we covered some of this creating content back then, but there's these new version 3 templates that we're going to be looking at today from D2L. And I also wanted to give a shout out to the rest of my TELC team that we had this year based on the virtual school. Andre Qualia and Peter Finney have been absolutely phenomenal at supporting in this role in this crazy year. So I wanted to give them a shout out before we move into the actual content of this presentation. So when we look at HTML templates, the reason why we would look at HTML templates, first of all, is when we think about creating the content for our lessons. So, there's the idea that you can create lessons from scratch, and that's really what we're going to be focusing on today. But then there's a secondary idea that you could be editing lessons. So once you create lessons using your HTML templates, you can also edit them. In a previous session we looked at just editing the ministry content. And while I know it's not the same for every single course, hopefully the use of HTML templates can make it so that it is very consistent for you. So when you're creating lessons, you're usually starting from scratch, and the course I'm going to be using here is actually a blank course which has nothing in it today, and you'll see that. So we're not using the ministry content, maybe because there's nothing for that subject area or that course, or you don't, maybe the course is just outdated and you want to create your own. So this would mean that you would have to start creating or making brand new files inside of Brightspace or loading up your own documents into one location. Now, the temptation for that is to load up PDF files or Word files, but the reason why I would suggest using HTML documents is because you can edit it right inside of the right inside of the web browser in Brightspace, rather than editing the document, saving it as a PDF, re-uploading, and then making sure that everything has to be up to date all the time. It's easy to make those changes when you're using HTML pages, specifically these templates. Now, again, you are going to have this aspect of editing lessons as well, which means you're going to have to modify whatever's in the templates if you don't want it all in there, and we'll be demonstrating that today. You can also add in supplementary items, even if you're using these templates. Okay, so we're going to try and look at 4 different types of questions today. So first of all, I want to answer, what are the HTML templates? Why might you use the HTML templates? How do you apply the templates into your course? And then how do you edit those templates once you have them in your course? Okay, some of you may already be able to answer 1, 2, and 3. You already know those 3 and you're just looking for how to edit them. I'm sorry if you have to sit through, 15 minutes of me going through the first 3 questions. But we will get to everything, and I promise, like, this has changed the way that I deliver my PD. It's changed the way that we're delivering our PD in the board now, and it's very definitely useful. So first of all, what are HTML templates? HTML templates, they're actually, what they do is they provide responsive and clean designs to HTML pages. HTML pages are just the pages you would have on a web browser that a web browser would read. And I know that when you hear HTML pages, I'm not gonna lie, I used to get kind of freaked out. It's like, oh, I don't know how to code. And while that's true, I don't necessarily need to know how to code if I'm using these templates in order to kind of take that part of it away from me. Now, why might you use them? Well, these templates allow your content to look consistent, and you can brand them for your board. You can brand them for your course, however you see fit, even a department in your school board or in your school. So on the next slide, you'll see I've got some samples of those images of what those look like. So then we'll look at how do you apply those templates to get them into your course. So you've decided to use them. How do you apply them? Now, there may be some default templates that your TELT or DELC has loaded in already, but you can also load in these other course level templates, which is what I started doing before I rolled them out to the entire system. So the link in here, the Brightspace HTML templates version 3.0, those are the templates that we're going to be looking at using. Your school board may already be implementing those again, but you could actually just use them at the course level if you want. And then we're going to be looking at how to edit the templates. So it is the same process to editing any type of HTML page inside of Brightspace. However, you may need to open multiple of those templates to copy in desired components. You'll see what I mean in a few minutes. And you can also then create your own personalized templates depending on what you want in those templates. Okay, so I'll give you an example of those as well with our Brightspace for Teachers course. Okay, so what are the HTML templates? Well, what they really are is just 10 pre-formatted pages that can be applied to any HTML page. Now, one thing to note there, I guess, is that what ends up happening is these are just HTML pages that you would copy into a blank page and then put your new content inside the template. You don't want to do it the other way around, because if you apply the template to an already existing content file, it's going to erase whatever you had in that content file and then just copy the template in, okay? So these are examples of these, just get the pen here for a second, laser pointer. Okay, so these are examples of those HTML templates. You can see that there's different purpose templates. So there's one that's about getting started, a basic page, a video lecture, if you're embedding a YouTube video, let's say, something that's like a course introduction or a module introduction, a course title, a conclusion. And then there's some other things like a meet your facilitator page. I'll be going through these all with you again in a few minutes. And then there's a couple things inside here. Like you can see there's these different examples of a Jumbotron and a call out. Some images inside there, and all of these are pre-formatted so that you don't have to figure out how to do those. You basically just copy them, paste them into your content, and then you can change whatever it is that you need to change. Okay, so that's essentially what those are. Okay, so I just want to demo them for you now. So very quickly, I'll ask for questions after I quickly demo these. I just need to change the screen that I have opened up here, and I want to make sure that this screen ended. Okay. Now the templates themselves. Let me. I think I need to open up a different course. Can you all verify that you can see the actual Brightspace, the web browser and Brightspace for me? Anyone just type it in the chat if you can see it. That would be great. Okay, thank you. All right, so what I'm going to do first is just go into this sandbox course that I created. And one of these, I just created this new unit, and I've created all of these different HTML pages here that show what those templates are. So this is a getting started template. You can see that it's got a nice image up at the top here. It's got some pre-formatted text in terms of a title and then a subtitle, right? Different headings. You can see the way that links will show up like that right there. You can see some other pieces down here. So this is called a call out. And basically, this is just kind of showing you what to do. You can deploy the HTML templates. You can enable the templates. You can apply an HTML template into whichever of these, whichever styles that you want. And this, notice I've actually done some board branding to ours, but normally this would just say your logo down here. Okay, this is an example of a course title, almost so that you can think about introducing a course. So if this was, you know, MHF for you, and then I give a description of what that course is, that can be used as an initial content page. This is an example of a module introduction. So again, it has a different image up at the top here. You can change all of this text, and then you can put in learning objectives or learning goals into that module introduction page. So you can change what this says, you can change what this says. We'll be covering that a little bit later. But this module introduction, you can see here. And this image is also changeable in the background too. I should mention that for all of these images are all changeable, but they're kind of done within a specific theme. So everything kind of looks like it's somewhat consistent. Okay, you will notice also that in every one of these pages, the titles will be that color, the subtitles will be that color, and it has this green theme and orange or kind of reddish there. Okay, this is a Meet the Facilitator page, so you can go in, change the picture, change the description, change your contact information, and so on. And it's a lot nicer than creating your own from scratch. You have a basic page, which most people will start creating from this basic page when they need to create something new. All it has is it has the pre-formatted text. And notice this is actually going to give a description of what this does. So notice in here, so this basic page is a general purpose layout. You can use the HTML editor to make quick and easy changes without needing the prior knowledge of HTML. Okay. So you can use like any of the available controls inside here. You copy text and you can paste it with or without the formatting. So that's pretty nice there. Okay, and again, notice here to paste text without formatting, you can use Control-Shift-V or Command-Shift-V on a Mac, and that will paste it in so that you don't bring the source formatting of wherever, you know, if you're in a Word document or online, you can paste it inside here next. Now, this is the same type of basic page, but it doesn't have the banner at the top, right? So you can see that basic page there. This is basic page, no banner. It's got the exact same type of things. And notice you've got the different headers. So that's like heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. And notice here, this is saying, oh, the HTML editor allows for 6 different heading lists, and you can change the formats. Okay, another style or another page, which is very important if you're generating your own content, is the elements page. Notice again, different image up here. This page is going to be somewhere where you come in and you find elements you may want to include in your HTML page. And then what you would do is end up copying them into something else, like copying them into another HTML page that you're working with. Okay. So for example, here, you can have an ordered list with large numbers. So you can see right here, you could have a list that looks like that. You could have a checklist that looks like this, a block quote that will take on that formatting. So you can change where the source is from or where the quote, what the quote is. A Jumbotron kind of puts a text you want to stand out inside of a box like that. A call out is similar to a Jumbotron, but notice the text is a little bit different and you have a different background color inside there. Now this is a call out here, but it has an image inside there. So you can have a call out with an image. Okay, you can have a table, right? So you've got a 3-column table here. You've got these left or 2 panels. And something I want to show you here is this. One of these reasons that we do this is because it actually formats based on the size of your screen. Notice what happens when I change the size of the screen. This is actually responding to the size of my screen. So if I zoom in a little bit further, notice what will happen to this table. Okay, notice the table size changes as I view this smaller. So one of the reasons why we would implement these these HTML templates is because they're designed to be used on any type of device, okay, on a smartphone, on a web browser, and so that's one of the very useful pieces here. But when you look at this elements page, these are all elements that you could take and copy and paste into another template that you've enabled, maybe the basic page. If I wanted to put in a list right here, I could go to that, I could copy the element, and then I could paste it in. And I'll show you that in a second, but notice here, it's got a start copy and an end copy. So you can actually go in and copy those items and paste them. Okay, and it actually gives you, notice here, to copy any of the following elements, please select everything between start copy and end copy for the specific element, then copy and paste that into the HTML editor. So you take your start copy, you take your end copy, everything in between there, copy it up, paste it in, and you're good to go. Now, I would usually do that inside of the editor, which we're going to cover in a minute. But yeah, so that's the elements page, very important. Another one is the image editing page. So there's different ways that you can insert images and align them. So you can have some images that are aligned to the left, where you have floating, so the image will float to the left, you've got text wrapping around it on the right-hand side. You can do that on the right-hand side and have your text going to the left, or you could have it as a full image here, okay? And so it would be aligned to full. And again, what you have here is that end copy, start copy type of thing, and that makes it very easy to do that type of formatting and get the experience that you want your students to have, rather than just trying to insert an image and move it around. Okay. Next, you also have one for video lectures. So if you want to put a video inside, and that's going to be the main function of this page, this already pre-formats it to have a YouTube video loaded in. And then all you have to do is go in and edit that YouTube video link, and it will change this entire page. Okay, and it shows you how to replace the video below on this template as well. This is one of the things that I love about these templates, is the template actually tells you what to do with that template. It's kind of a meta idea there. So you've got the video, but then it'll show you how to actually go in to replace that video, which we'll be covering a little later. The next two are my favorites, the accordion and the tabs. So accordions give you the option of making something that's almost like a little drop down that shows other things when you click on them. So these specifically show, all right, so this accordion is going to be starting the copy, right, to the end copy here. This is a single accordion, single drop down. This one has two of them, and you can go all the way up to 6, okay? Now, if you know how to code using HTML, you can actually create more than that, or you can remove them as you don't need them. But this at least allows you to say, all right, I know that I'm going to need 4, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to copy, just the first 4, and then I'll be good for to paste that into my actual content that I'm designing. Okay. Yeah, I'm noticing in the comments here that these templates make it so simple. It really does. So I'm going to show you something. I'm not a coder. One of my colleagues is, but I designed a template in about 5 minutes that was very easy to use, that we use for every single one of our support pages. Okay. The last one I like here is the idea of tabs. Okay, so tabs are very similar to accordions. Accordions are, you've got a drop down and it reveals something. What a tab does is it basically allows you to show something, but you can select it horizontally. So you've got a tab here, or I can select this tab and something new will show up here. Okay, so this, you can have 3 tabs if you want 3 tabs as opposed to the 2 tabs. Again, you go up to 4. You can actually increase it more and more, but you don't really, anything past 4, you're getting a little much. So it really depends on what you're doing though. You could have something that's like 6 tabs if it's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, as long as it's not going to be too much. Okay, so those are all of the HTML templates that you could possibly or that are included with this version 3 format. I just want to stop right now and just see, are there any questions that you have? So again, you've got the question and answer in here. You've got the comments. If you do want to add something to the chat or the question and answer, I can answer them from there. If not, we can just kind of continue moving along. Okay. Okay, so where do you get those templates? It's almost like I planned for that, because the next part I have is how do you apply the templates, or how do you get the templates? Okay, so we're going to cover this now. Now, the first thing is your board may have actually already have these templates enabled in what's called shared files in Brightspace. If they do, then anytime you go to create a new content page, next to the title, you should see a little drop-down arrow. And that drop-down arrow will show where the default templates are being found right now in your org. Now, if that's not showing anything, then you'd have to go to this second spot, which is that you may have to download the files from the site. Oh, you know what that should say? Below, not above. And then add them to your course and extract them, which I'm going to demonstrate for you. It's not a long process, but some people find it a little bit intimidating. It's really not that difficult. So, and I'll walk you through going to this link here. And then essentially what you would do is you would just create an HTML page and apply the template next to the page title. Okay, so I'm going to share that screen again, just so that I can make sure. Where are we at? Share. I'm sorry for having to share all the different screens differently this time, but here we go. So hopefully you can see the Brightspace course here again. Can you verify that for me? Okay, cool. So I'm going to go into this brand new course here that all I've done is I've gone into our content and I've created a new unit. So I just went, oh yeah, new unit here and created a new unit. Okay. Inside that new unit, the first thing I'd have to do is create a new HTML document. So once I create that new HTML document, notice I have a title here, and this is my spot to place stuff. Now, most people go right to this spot and start trying to, okay, well, let me make a title, and then here's my image, and try to create from here. And they'll use their insert stuff and all of that. But this little drop-down arrow, which many people miss out on, this is actually the templates. So if you select this drop-down arrow, then you'll actually see that you've got a bunch of templates here that are available. Now, this is something that I as the Delk in my board have enabled for all of the teachers to access. Okay, I think the default for us right now is actually the version 2 of these templates. But what I'm going to do is show you how you can actually upload the version 3 of those templates and then load them in. So if you have access to this, all you have to do is go into an HTML page, click on this drop-down arrow, and then select one of these things. I'm going to select elements. Actually, I'll select basic page. Now notice what's going to happen though. I have some content here already in this page. So if I click on this drop-down and I select basic page, notice it's going to tell me replace existing content with this template. If I select replace, what I previously had there is going to be gone, and it's going to essentially make a copy of that template into this HTML page that now I can go in and edit. Okay, so that's really quickly there. That's how I've created my first page using a template. I want to do it again, create new HTML document, and I'm going to actually make this my elements page. Click the drop down and select elements. Save it. Okay, and now I've got this page inside here. Now you might be thinking like, well, how do I now edit this stuff? And we're going to get to that a little bit later. You can very quickly here notice if I click on the 3 dots and then edit, I can go in and I can change anything I want. So if I want to remove this, I can edit that and take it out. If I want to change these, notice that like there's these formats that are done. You can see header 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatnot. If I want to change this to a header 1, I can just do that, right? They're all pre-formatted so that I can change these things easily. If I want to change this icon, I can go in and insert an image. I think I have one on my computer, right? And we'll be covering this a little bit in further detail. Okay, see there, got that. I can copy something in one one area, I can paste into another using Control-Shift-V, right? Save it. And I can also change the image at the bottom, right? So if I don't want this image, that logo, I can just go right to that insert image. Check, I think I have a banner on somewhere. Yeah, the one that we've used in the past, Brightspace for Parents. That's the one I'll load in. Okay. I'm not putting alt text in, even though I know you should. Okay, so this is a very quick and easy way of branding a page that you may want to use. So as you can see here, very easy. I guess one other thing, you can also edit the image that's up top here. So if you click on that, you just click on the image and do the same thing. Okay, so that is how you can apply those templates. I do want to share one other thing first before I want to go back to the other screen and just make sure that you have this link. I'm actually going to I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste this link in the chat in case anyone wants it. So here's the link to that right now. It's the community, Brightspace community, where you can download the HTML template for version 3. And really what that allows you to do is you may have to actually replace where your templates are being found. So you could actually upload these into your own course and then extract them and then change the default location of those templates. So this is what we're going to cover at this point now. We're going to basically show you how you can load in that those HTML pages into your own course, extract them, and then change the default template path so that they direct to the ones that you want them to. Okay, so this is again, we're gonna cover a few of these things inside here, and then I'll demo them. I'll demo them right now. Actually, you don't see the link in the chat. Oh, you know what? I sent it to all panelists. My mistake. All right, there's the link right there. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay, so let me share this again, and I'm going to go to that link, which essentially just brings me to a page on Brightspace Community, and it explains everything about the HTML templates version 3. There was a previous version 1 and a version 2. These ones are great. So you can kind of read through these if you want, and there is some instructions on how to actually use them. You can kind of see what they look like and see all of that and see how other you know, like Minnesota State College, how they're using their templates. There's some pretty cool ones that they've created. But essentially what we're going to look at here is how to get them. So the first thing you want to do is to get started here, you download this template pack. So you just click on the drop or click on that. It should download it to your page right here inside your browser. Once it's done downloading that, you can go into your course. So I'm going to go into this course, this brand new course here. And what I'm going to do is I have to go into my course admin. Okay, so you have to go into course admin and then this spot called manage files. You know, every teacher should have the ability to go into course admin and manage files. And then you'll see that anything that I've actually created inside here lives inside there. Okay. Now, what I will want to do then is I want to click this upload button. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this file that I've just downloaded, that zip file. So I'm going to click upload. And once this is done, I can drag that in, but I'm pretty sure I've downloaded this a bunch of times before. So I'm sure it's in my downloads. All this HTML. What would it be called? _HTML. Oh, looks like I don't have it downloaded before on the computer. Must have been on all my other computers. Whoops. Okay, so it looks like we will be waiting for another 12 seconds or so while this downloads. Right now, I'll just go check the chat, check the Q&A. See none. We're almost good. All right. Well, that was only 6.5 megabytes. I'm shocked that it took me that long to download it. But now that that's downloaded, I can click and drag that. I should be able to. Okay, there we go. Now it's downloaded properly. I can just click and drag that right inside here, or I can upload it and then click save. And you'll notice that that's now been uploaded into Brightspace, into this course. Okay, from that point, what I can do is I can select this drop-down arrow next to it, and then I can select unzip. Okay, now when I unzip that, what's going to end up happening, it's going to tell me that this is going to unzip, and the file's unzipping in the background. This may take a few minutes, and that's okay. You'll receive a notification when this is complete. That notification will show up here somewhere, either here or as an alert. I can't remember exactly which one it shows up on. But what will end up happening, you see it's already started creating this folder, and it's going to end up creating 2 folders inside here, one that's called assets and one that's called pages. Okay. Now what we will then end up doing, and I think I may have to go to a different course to demonstrate this. I'm actually going to go into our Brightspace for Teachers course to demonstrate this. What you will have to do in order to apply these templates is actually go into this drop down arrow. Sorry, I'm actually going to go in and check on the that I have the files in there. I think I have them inside here. Yes, I do. So you see that's like, so a finished folder will look like this: Brightspace HTML template, assets, pages, and then you'll have all of these different pages inside there. So you can see blank, intro, module, meet your facilitator, basic page, video lecture, tabs, accordions, and then these are a few that we modified on our own. Okay. Now, once you've loaded in those templates, what you would want to do is go to your course admin again and go into, you'd actually go into content, my mistake. Once you know that all of those files have been extracted inside your course, you go into your content and you're going to have to change the default location of where it's trying to find those templates. So click on this little drop-down arrow. You have to do this from the old or the legacy content experience. So you'd want to click on this drop-down that's just underneath your nav bar if you have the ability to do that, and click turn it off. I'm just going to do that because it's missing a feature that I use. And now it will bring you to the old content experience. Okay, and this is what it used to look like. And I'm going to click on this settings cog up here. And there's 2 things that I need to do. I need to check, and I need to make sure that this checkbox is checked for enable HTML templates. That's going to allow you to use the templates. And then you're going to change this path. This path is probably set as a default, but when you click on change path, it's actually going to allow you to go into either shared files or course offering files. And inside of course offering files, you're going to want to find that folder. So you go into, okay, it's Brightspace HTML template, and then pages. And notice underneath those pages, you can't go any further. That's what you want to select. So Brightspace HTML page template, and then pages, and select path. And then that's going to change that default path of where your templates are, so that when you go to select them again, I'm going to turn this one on. Okay, so I turned, I'm just turning the lessons experience back on. Okay, so now what would happen when I go to create a new HTML document? These are the templates that show up there. Okay, so if you didn't have any templates before, now you would have those templates. And if I want to load in the accordions one, okay, great, I've got accordions. Now, the other really cool thing about the templates is what you can do is you can actually create your own template. So one of the ones that we had done here was this one for 3 tabs for the GEC DSB Brightspace for Teachers course. So for our Brightspace for Teachers course, we changed the banner up at the top. And then what we did was we created this 3-tab one that essentially has a video that you can change and embed inside there. Then you can have instructions that you can type up, and then you can insert a PDF file when you're ready. And then what it would end up looking like is, I'll show you one of the ones we've already created. What it would look like is basically right here. So a teacher would come in, they would see this, they would see the short description. It defaults to the video that's playable because it's embedded. There's instructions with images and then a PDF download of those instructions. And this was all done using the HTML templates that we created, okay? So notice you'll see up here, the subscription alerts here, it says, that file, the Brightspace HTML template has now been unzipped in that other course. So I think that was this course over here. If I refresh this screen, I should see that assets and pages, right? So what's really cool in here, notice you have these pages, but what I can actually do is I can modify these as my default ones if I want to. So let's say, for example, that I just want to have one that comes up that always starts with a tab. Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to copy this one, and then I'm going to paste it directly inside this course. And notice now I've got 10 tabs, and I can now go edit this file or rename it. So I'm gonna rename it. I'm going to say this is going to be a 2-tab. It's going to be a 2-tab page. So I'm going to save that. And now what I can do is go in and edit this file. And it's going to preview what this file looks like. So let's say I don't want this image up here. I can just click on that and delete it. I'm going to leave that, leave all of that. And I only want this group of 2 tabs to show. So that means I'm just going to take all the rest of this and kind of delete that. Okay, and I'm also going to get rid of these other parts that say tabs, horizontal, end copy, and the start copy. Okay, so now I've essentially just changed what this default template is going to look like so that it only has 2 tabs. And maybe I want to change that. So this is called tab 1, and this is called tab 2. And now this is where I would type in the stuff for tab 1. So this is tab 1 content, and this would be tab 2 content. Another thing I can do, again, remember that logo at the bottom. If I change this logo at the bottom and insert an image, I will insert image for parents one. I'll save that. So now when I go in, I'll actually see this as a new HTML template that I can select from. Okay. So in order to do that, remember, so this is the first course I was working with. So I will have to change the default path for my template because notice it's not showing up that way, right? Now, if you can't change the default path, there is an option to browse for a template, and you can browse for a template by going into your course offering files, and Brightspace HTML template and pages, and then select from those different templates, which now you notice that one's there, okay? But I like changing the default so I don't have to do that every time. So again, just to recap, turning off the new lessons experience. I'm turning it to the legacy experience, selecting my settings. Yep, that's checked off. And I'm going to change my path to be not in shared files where many of these are, but inside of course offering files, Brightspace HTML template, pages. Select that path. That's going to be my default now. I'll turn on lessons again, the lessons experience, or the new content experience. And now when I go to create an HTML document, that's the location where I have my new pieces. There's all those 10 with accordions and tabs. And if I click on the 2 tabs one, notice that's the one that I've just edited. Okay. So that to me is very useful in terms of kind of create my own template. And you can modify this however you want, right? So this is now just going to change the default template that I've created, but I can still go in and edit that. So if I don't want that image, the Brightspace for Parents one, if I want a different one, I can go into here, change the image, upload something different. Let's say I just want to use the D2L logo. Okay, then I can save that, right? Notice here, tab 1, tab 2, you can tab that content inside here. Anytime you want to edit content, you're able to click on the actual page that you've loaded in and click on the 3 dots and edit. Okay. And so if I want to add to this now, because this may be kind of boring. Let's say I wanted to have a bulleted list. What I can do, remember, I can go to the elements page. If I had a page that I already created called elements, I can come inside here and I can copy this in. Now, I'm actually going to edit this one because this was from the old templates. I'm going to add in this elements page, which probably looks almost identical, but it's slightly different. Okay, so this elements page, notice I've got a slightly different here. Okay, but I want to copy this in. So all I'm going to do, I've got that start copy all the way to my end copy. Now, sometimes I actually like copying this part and then deleting that text after. So if I just copy here and I go in and try and paste it, let's see what happens. Paste that in and it didn't come in properly. You might be thinking, well, like, why'd you show us that then? Okay, I wanted to show you that when you copy them, you actually have to copy them from within the edit page. So when you go in to edit something, you would come in here and say, all right, now what I want to do is I'm going to copy this part, okay, those list items. Okay, I can just copy this, Control C. Now I'm going to cancel out of this page, go back into my template, edit that. And now from here, I'm just going to paste those in and it comes in properly. Okay, so whenever you're copying something, you have to make sure that you're in the edit page. And then I can go through and delete that text here, right? The end copy and the begin copy. And you don't have to worry about that. Now, what's nice though, is once you have those list items inside here, if I press enter, it's going to operate very similarly to something else where I can have more list items. Or I can similarly delete number 3 and it's just going to shift them. Okay, so as you can see, that's pretty useful, pretty easy for copying in the content. Okay, so one thing that I actually suggest here, and I'm going to go back to my presentation just because I want to show some. Where are we? Here. Okay, I think you should be able to see the presentation again. So one thing I just want to point out to you is this. So when we were looking at, on the previous slides here, okay, applying those HTML templates, this was just walking us through how to actually load them in and, turn on the HTML templates, change the default path and whatnot. And this is where we get into the editing, right? So you notice that it has those start copy and end copy markers in there. So you would paste those into whatever template you want, but remember you have to be in the edit page. And this right here, so a good practice may actually be to create an individual page for each template so that you can copy it from it. So what I've actually done in some of the courses that I use is I've actually, I've created something like I think I did it in this course right here, right? I created, page 1 is the getting started. Page 2 is the course title. Page 3 is this. So that way I don't have to go through and go create a new file, click down here, see which of these I want to use, click on elements and then do that. If I take the time, and it takes me about 5 minutes to create 11 of these different things, and you can name them whatever you'd like. I could name this course title, this one basic page and whatnot. But having those in there makes it much easier so that you can just find what you need and say, oh yeah, I want that bullet or I want that list. Come in here, find it, copy it, go back into where I'm actually looking to make my content up here, and then paste that in. Okay. So that's essentially what I would do. I would create a little folder inside there, just so that it's quick and easier to access. Okay. All right, a couple more slides. We're going to get into we've kind of, hopefully if you're in D2L, you know how to edit specific things. So all of these templates are just HTML documents. So you can apply, once you apply the template, you can edit the page as you see fit. You get that WYSIWYG editor bar, which allows you to kind of make anything or make any changes that you do want to make. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to share with you. I can do a lot of screen share, so I would still like to still demonstrate some things to you, but I just want to pause because I know we've got 13 minutes left. And if there's any questions that you have, now would be the time to ask them before right now, even if there's requests on things that you'd like to see me kind of mix together with the HTML templates or some best case scenarios or best practices, if there's any requests for that, just put them in the chat, put them in the Q&A, and I can kind of go forward with that with you. In the meantime, while we're waiting on that, I'll show you a couple of examples of templates that have been used. So I've already mentioned the one with let me bring this back. So the Brightspace for Teachers course that we'd been using, right? So this was our default template that we had modified and created. So anytime we load in here, right? So anytime we load something into this course, the default we come up with is a video, the instructions tab, and a PDF tab, and they're very easy. They're very easy for you to kind of modify. Again, I don't know how to code this stuff on my own, but it was very easy to kind of go inside, edit this, and then say, all right, well, this inside here is my first tab. This inside here is my second tab. And then the thing at the bottom down here, we put in a bunch of screenshots, so sorry. And then this is our third tab. So it's very easy when we went to create this thing, and we wanted it to be a very quick and easy thing that people access. And we also wanted it board branded. So we have we have our logo down here at the bottom for the school board. We've got the Brightspace for Teachers logo that we use up here. But we then started branching out into a few different types of videos that we would create. So Brightspace for Teachers was something that we were creating, specific to tools and different functions. But then we started sending out these tech tips. And so we link everything directly into our course, and we provide a link to the course, not to YouTube. So for example, this one right here on using HTML templates to create your content, notice slightly different, right? Notice I've got the Tech Tip Tuesday one right here, and it still has the video, the instructions, and the PDF download, right? I don't have the PDF download ready for that one or the instructions, but the video at least comes in here, and it's a 6-minute video on how you can enable those. The other one that we had created, and this was just a very simple change to one of the templates, was the Microsoft Mondays. So we were sending out videos every Monday on Microsoft Monday, how to create and do something. So the format stayed the same, and all we really had to do was change this icon or this banner up here. And all that we did for that was we went into our course admin, into our manage files, and we created new templates, right? So we looked in here and used these basic ones, okay? So a basic page template here. And notice here, we've got this 12, 13, and 14. That's our 3 tabs that are the Greater Essex County District School Board branded. Then we've got our 3 tabs, that's our Tech Tip Tuesday, and our 3 tabs that are Microsoft Monday. But let's say I wanted to just change something so that every time I started something, it was a video lecture that had some elements below it. This could get kind of crazy here, but let's try it out. So let's click on copy here. I'm just going to copy the video lecture, and then I'm going to paste it in. And it's going to paste it in with that same name. So I'm now going to click on it and rename it. And I'm going to call this one, I'm not even going to put a number on it. I'm just going to say, this is my video with elements. Okay. So this is going to be my template. And this is essentially just a copy of the video lecture. So if I go in here and I go and edit this, then what I'm going to get is that basic template, okay? But let's say I don't want this banner up here. I want some other type of, call it a video banner education. I'm just going to Google some type of image here. See if we can find some. Okay, you know what? Let's take this one. And I'm obviously not actually going to, I'm only going to do this for a specific section. I'll be removed after. But so if I want to change that now, I can click on the image, my computer, drag that in, and I'm going to just put this is a banner, the alt text. Okay, and notice the banner is now changed. Maybe I should have probably done something like maybe our school board banner or something like that. I can change the title if I want. So this is our class lecture day 1, or we'll just call it day, yeah, you know, we'll put day blank just so that I remember to change that. Okay, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave one little section of text here. I'll leave the video inside here. And now I'm going to get rid of all of this other stuff. I'm going to change the logo. Okay, so I'm going to upload a different logo. I'll probably upload the D2L Dave logo. Now that one's going to be decorative. Okay, but what I do want here for now is I want to get some of the elements inside there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the elements page and edit this file. Because remember, what I can do here is I can copy and paste from there. So what I'm essentially going to do is I'm just going to take right from here, ordered list, all the way down to here, copy that, go back into my video with elements. Okay, and I'm going to paste that right here. And what I should end up seeing now is this video with elements will have that video portion at the beginning, and then it will have the elements below it. So if I go in and edit this file now, notice I've got that. I've got all those other types of elements that I could ever want inside there. But let's say that I don't want all of them in. You know, I'm never actually going to use the this lead text. So I'm just going to get rid of this. I'll get rid of that and the title. Okay, and I think I'll use that. I think I'll use that. Yeah, let's say, and I'll probably use the call out rather than the image call out. So I'm just going to remove all of this stuff and save that. Now, if I go into my content and try and create something, okay, so let's try and create a new HTML document. In my dropdown here, I should see that new file, video with elements. And now notice it's got the image that I wanted, that I chose. It's got my title here. Okay, it's got my text here, my YouTube video there that I'm going to need to probably change. I'll just, yeah, it's got my list items, it's got my block quote, and it took out the things I didn't want anymore. Okay, now what's great about this though is this, I'm going to just call this a new page. If let's say this is my day 1, and I go in and I put a list item 1, list item 2, list item 3, and I save that. Because this is a new page in the course, it's not actually going to save the default template. So the next time I go in and I try to create it or add that new template in, it's not going to come in with day 1 and those changes that I made. It's going to be the original template that I was using, that I created. Now I can change this one to day 2, right? And maybe, oh, we don't have a block quote today, so I'm going to remove that, okay, and so on. Okay, so that's something that's definitely useful, and I love about these HTML files is just the fact that they're so customizable, they're easy to use, and it can make your content look like it's professionally done, and I'm not a professional at doing it. So D2L has done all the difficult legwork here for us. They've provided us with them, and we're just so thankful that they've shared them with us. So I do hope that this has been useful for you. If you do have any more questions, folks, this is essentially you know, the time to ask them. If you have any comments, those would be appreciated as well. Got 4 minutes, but if there's nothing else, I'm going to say that basically, thank you for joining. I hope this has been a great help for you, especially in designing your own content. I know that the need for that has grown this year, right? And I assume that it may continue for next year in whatever type of learning model that you're in. Okay. So I do want to thank you for stopping by. I want to thank you for participating in this, and again I hope you learned something from it. I'm going to stop the recording of it, and then we will I guess we'll adjourn.